Good afternoon at the Real Deal Kitchen. We are in the process, or I should say my co-conspirator, Albert, my pop, is in the process of deconstructing a beautiful chicken. And it's he carves birds so beautifully, but I've given him a little bit of a puzzle to work with today because he's coming at it from a completely different angle because we've spatchcocked, or essentially butterflied, the chicken, which involves taking the backbone out, and then so that the bird can lay flat, and all the surfaces of the skin essentially can cook and brown more evenly. This term, as I understand it, spatchcocking, um, may come from an Irish uh, phrase, dispatch the cock. Uh, it means to kind of go get the bird, and we're going to dispatch with it, kill it, and prepare it for cooking. But I think it specifically refers to a way of preparing the bird for grilling. Now, we didn't grill it, we did roast it in the oven, and I see Albert shaking his head over there because it's definitely a different angle to look at the bird from. I did want to show it to you, but it's too heavy for me to pick up. Um, so that's on the menu for early this week. Um, and the bird has been seasoned with my handy favorites that I've been speaking about for several weeks now. Lots of thyme and cumin, but we've also used some aleppo pepper with this one, and a little bit of allspice. So all of these flavors combined with garlic and lemon make a very savory and finger licking delicious bird. Um, so that's kind of the basics of what we have going on here in the kitchen today. I certainly miss being able to carve the bird myself, though I never really gained super skills at it once it was cooked. I did, however, teach myself to break down birds. So this is something that goes very much along the lines of what I've been speaking to and what I'll continue to speak to around handling your own food and being in the kitchen. Whether your commitment to yourself and whatever loved ones that you have around you or friends is. If that's going to be once a week, once a month, I think would be a minimum commitment. And this is all about reclaiming uh, your yourself and your sovereignty. Because if we're constantly putting something as basic and fundamental as the preparation of our food, our nourishment in someone else's hands, then then we never have a real handle on it. And if it were ever to come time for you to need to, whether it be for financial reasons or that you need to cut back on eating out or doing takeout or health reasons, um, I would hate to see under that kind of duress anyone then trying to fumble around in an unfamiliar place. Um, and I've worked with enough people to know that unless you do something like this or anything that requires basic skills on a regular basis, you can become lost very easily. So this is why I encourage everyone to make some sort of commitment around this if health and well-being is a part of your uh, interest. And that's not just about what you eat, but it's how you approach the food itself. As as I learned to, my, my dad is mumbling under his breath, not this way. It's, we'll be doing a lot more with spatchcocking or butterflying the birds. So as the weather warms up for the grill, so it's good we get used to it. And to keep oneself on one's toes, right? You know, keep it interesting. Um, but what was I? Where was my train of thought going? Oh, in early in life, I never wanted to handle meat, and it was one of the reasons why I became a vegetarian. I didn't crave meat. We didn't have it that often in our house. We were more fish and vegetable centric, um, and because I didn't want to handle it, that also lent another reason why I decided to completely omit meat and actually for quite some time fish as well from my diet, because I felt that from an early age I felt like if I didn't want to handle something I was eating, then I why am I eating it? You know, I want my hands in my food. And if I didn't want to put my hands in it, then I probably didn't want to put that thing in my mouth. Um, and eventually that changed. I had a primal calling to begin consuming red meat again. It wasn't like I tiptoed around and said, oh, I think I might want to eat chicken or something like that. It was a real primal calling to eat red meat and to have marrow. So my body was really calling out to me. And that's the other benefit of handling your own food, is that when you have your hands in it, then you can actually more actively listen to what your body is telling you, and listen to the needs of your body. And sometimes that's for something sweet, and sometimes that's for something more sour, and sometimes that's for something more astringent. Um, and then that all those flavor profiles, you know, roll out into different food categories, which maybe that'll be the subject of another ramble, if you will. But I'm going to go over and look at this beautiful bird. Is there enough there to perhaps show, or you don't want to get your hands out of what you're doing? I don't want to interrupt his flow over there. I'm likely going to be posting this recipe, which is savory and simple, as a blog post in the coming month. But for those of you who have been interested in the kitchery recipe, that has just come up on the blog, and that's at Bone Root Herb at oh geez, .com, bonerootandherb.com. You can find it, and I don't think I can lift that. Can you lift that? The bird is so beautiful. Kind of not getting a good, showing of how golden the skin all comes out when you've laid the bird out flat. That's really great. The bird wasn't such a ham today. And once again, I could not be doing this without being in this beautiful kitchen of my mother's, and without my father's hands being the ones directly in the food for me, like my proxy here. So thank you for staying with this ramble and staying with us at The Real Deal Kitchen. And I hope you're having a wonderful day, and we will follow up with more as the week moves on. Be well.